Planning days feel amazing. Fresh room, butcher's paper, coloured markers. Everyone gets a coffee. Someone says, "This is exactly what we needed." And for about 3 days, it feels true. Then Wednesday happens. The same interruptions come back. The same staff patterns come back. The same last minute decisions come back. The same leader ends up carrying the same pressure. And everyone quietly goes, right, so nothing actually changed. That's not because planning days are useless. It's because planning without rhythm is just hope with stationery. A lot of teams use planning days like a reset button. Everyone's tired, stretched, reactive, and a bit over it. So they book a day away from the normal chaos. They talk about the vision. They name the values. They map the priorities. They leave feeling lighter. And then they return to the exact same operating rhythm that created the mess in the first place. Same calendar, same meeting patterns, same loose communication, same unclear decision points, same leader being grabbed in hallways, same team waiting until things become urgent. So of course, change doesn't stick. You can't build a stable team with one inspiring day and no weekly container. That's like going to the gym once, buying nice shoes, and wondering why your back still hurts. I get the appeal. Planning days give everyone a bit of breathing room. They let people say things that haven't been said. They create a sense of possibility. For leaders who are running on fumes, that can feel like oxygen. But here's the annoying bit. A good conversation is not the same as a new rhythm. A shared insight is not the same as a changed week. A whiteboard full of ideas is not the same as different behaviour on Tuesday afternoon when someone walks in with a problem and says, "Have you got a sec?" That's where the real work lives. Not in the room with the nice snacks, in the ordinary week, in the handover, in the check-in, in the way that decisions get made. In the moment where someone brings you a wobble and you don't automatically absorb it. That's where teams actually change. I like to use what I call the Tuesday test. Forget how good the planning day felt. What changed by Tuesday? Did the team know what to do differently? Did meetings run differently? Did the leader's calendar have clearer edges? Did people know where to bring non-urgent questions? Did the team have a rhythm for spotting issues before they became Friday dramas? Did anyone change how they communicated when they were unsure? If the answer is no, then the planning day probably created awareness, which is useful. But awareness without rhythm fades fast. People don't rise to the level of the notes that they took on the day. They fall back to the rhythm they return to. And if that rhythm is chaos, chaos wins. Every time. Cheeky little pest. Most planning days try to solve too much. They try to cover the vision, the values, the strategy, the problems, the roles, the team, the culture, the action plan, and everyone's feelings by 3 p.m. And no wonder people leave with a headache and a folder that they never open again. The better move is actually simpler. Pick a few things and then turn them into rhythms. If communication is messy, don't just say, "We need better communication." Decide where communication lives. In a daily huddle, in a weekly reset, in a written update, in a one-to-one rhythm, in an escalation pathway. If leaders are being interrupted all day, don't just say we need stronger boundaries. Decide what access looks like. What can come now? What waits? What needs a clear ask before it lands on the leader? If people feel disconnected from the mission, don't just write prettier values. Build a rhythm where the team sees how today's work connects to the bigger picture. That's how you make it real. And the problem is that often leaders chase the big reset. They want one day to fix what the weekly rhythm keeps breaking. But teams don't become stable because of one big conversation. They become stable because small conversations happen in the right places at the right times, often enough to become normal. That's much less glamorous and much more useful. A stable team is built in repeatable moments. The Monday reset, a clean handover, the proper debrief, the protected decision space, the 5-minute pause before everyone starts reacting. That's the stuff that changes the feel of a team. Not a laminated values poster. No offense to laminated values posters. Actually, some offense. Here's a simple way to use your next planning day better. Before the day ends, ask one question. What rhythm will make this real next week? Not what do we learn, not what do we agree on. What rhythm will make this real next week? If the team says communication needs to improve, build a communication rhythm. If the team says decisions are unclear, build a decision rhythm. 10 minutes daily beats a 3-hour meeting that nobody can maintain. A clear weekly reset beats a massive action plan that dies in someone's inbox. Small and repeated wins. Big and occasional usually makes people feel good and then guilty. So planning days can spark change. Rhythms can make change stick. And that's the difference. If your team keeps needing another reset, the issue probably isn't motivation. It's that nothing changed in the ordinary week. And the ordinary week is where leadership lives. Inside the Leadership Lab, we don't start with a giant planning day and a stack of pretty notes. We start by stabilizing the week. Daily anchors, weekly resets, clear buffers, simple rhythms that your team can actually use when things get messy. And if you want the details, the link is in the pinned comment. And if you've ever walked out of a planning day feeling hopeful and then watched the chaos come back by Wednesday, this is probably the work.